come from Latin America. And Latinx is a merge of word that intended to be an LGBTQ and plus inclusive version of Latino. As well in the late 90s and 2010. This term Latinx is not very welcome in our Latino communities because it has a sense of language imperialism, let's say from the English, and people in our communities that are members of LGBTQ and plus they prefer be called Latino or Latina or Hispanics. The term Latinx hasn't been very welcome in our context, in our Latino context. If you have any question, please speak up and I can answer. The United States is the second largest Latino country in the world. Mexico has 127 millions. United States has 62 millions, and Colombia has 51 millions. And we are going to see in the following slides how the Latino population has been growing in the country, in the States. We can see here in 1980, where the darkest areas are 100,000 or more Hispanic or Latinos. This is in 1980s. We have here 1990. We have here 2000. 2010. 2020. And finally, the differences in between 1980 and 2020. You can see how fast in a period of 22 years or 30 years, the population has been increasing in the States. Any questions so far? No? And as because of the recent immigration policies within the States, it won't affect this growing because there are many Latinos or descendants of Latinos. They are in the country, and there is expected that by 2060, this map will be darker and darker with the Latino presence across the States. And that's a blessing for our Latino communities as well. This is the 10 cities with more Latinos or Hispanic population across the States. We have Los Angeles County in California. We have Harris County in Texas. Miami-Dade County in Florida. Cook County in Illinois. Maricopa County in Arizona. Riverside County in California. Bexar County, Texas. San Bernardino County, California, San Diego, California, and Orange County in California. Those are the 10 counties by Hispanic population by 2020. And since we count, the Latino communities count with fourth generation of Latinos born and raised in the States, the English has been the language that most of the recent generations Latino are, let's say, more inclined to speak. even though they have been raised in a Latino family where mostly they speak Spanish, the environment where the kids or younger generation of Hispanics are getting in contact with, they speak English all the time at school, in sports, in extracurricular, classes, in their in their schools or colleges. They speak English. I'll give you an example. For example, our daughter Sarah, she does speaks a very good English at school, but she speaks Spanish at home. She doesn't speak English at home. The only way that she speaks English at home is because there is somebody that is at home visiting us that speaks English. But out of our house, the whole time there in North Carolina, she speaks English. So most of the Latino recent generation Latinos, younger Latinos, prefer to speak in English, and Spanish is like a mother tongue that is spoken just within the family. Any questions so far?
Well, Franklin, that makes me think about a conversation that I had with Father Medina, that they've got a pretty active youth group at Buen Pastor, but they're requesting 2 St. Luke's volunteers to build relationships with the youth because the kids prefer to go to an English-speaking church instead of a Spanish-speaking church. So he wants them to have a seamless transition. They still have a church home at St. Luke's if they maintain that connection.
Yeah, and this is a phenomenon that has been somehow ignored within the Episcopal Church and across the other denominations as well, because that's a thing that we are going to talk later on this course. Latino ministry within the Episcopal Church in the States has been focused just to first Latino generation. What does mean? That means that only Spanish speakers. The mission or Latino ministry has been focused just on Spanish speaker people or folks. And we have been leaving behind the younger generations that are more custom or they prefer to speak in English. So there is this void within the church between these 2 generations or the younger generations. We are focused just in Spanish speaker ministry, but we are leaving behind these new generations that prefer speaking English than Spanish, and they are more comfortable to go to a service in English than in Spanish because it's the language that they speak every day and that they get into conversations or relationship out of their homes. So there is this void that we have somehow to create or have a plan to engage with these younger generations, because again, they have been raised in these Spanish speaker environments that is great, that is good, but they feel better in English. And when they go to a church with their parents where the Spanish is the primary language, even though they like it and they love it and it makes them feel home, they prefer English. So, and this boy needs to be approached, and it's a beautiful opportunity to the church to get younger generations involved in ministry, in membership, and to do a lot of beautiful things. Any other question? Okay, let's move forward. Percentage of Latinos in the US by age and language. We can see these graphics here. And as you can see at the on the right hand of the slide, this 50 years old and older, 46% are bilingual, 35% are Spanish dominant and English dominant, 18%. But across the time, the Spanish is the language that is less speak or spoke within the families and society within the Latino communities. Again, this is a wonderful opportunity to approach younger generations to be part of our churches, of our Anglo churches, and they can bring as well all this richness of Latino heritage that can be improved and can give to our congregations vitality and get new ways to do mission in our churches, to do ministry in our churches, and to have a diverse community that is inviting and welcoming to other non-Latino, let's say non-Latino community, but to another ethnic groups that they are looking and seeking for a church that can welcome them as they are. More of the Hispanic high school graduates are enrolling in college. In the past 2 decades, has Hispanic or Latino kids or descendants are getting more in colleges, are getting, more opportunity despite the disparities sometimes in the society. And they are encouraged and they are pursuing their dreams to go to college. And they are doing it. They are enriching our society with their profession, with their education as well. It's so unbelievable to see how many Hispanic or Latino descendants are in fields like medicine, psychologists, school teachers. We see them every more in every field in society. And let's watch this video.
I identify as a Hispanic American.
Afro-Latina.
Mexican-American.
Chicana.
Mexican.
Afro-Latino.
To my family, I am Puerto Rican. To the country, I am Latina.
Growing up, I felt as though I was too Black to be Latina and too Latina to be Black.
Chicana, I think, identifies more of the political and social values that I hold more than just where my family's from.
I don't feel pressure to be more Latino or American. I'm comfortable with who I am, like culturally.
How can I be Mexican when I'm pressured to be more American? How can I be American when I'm pressured to be more Mexican?
My family growing up wanted me to, stick with my Hispanic roots, but also did not want me to show those roots to the world.
A lot of the times people didn't even know that I was Cuban because I guess I don't look like your typical Cuban.
My mom is Mexican, so I've always grown up with her culture, with her language, while being American doesn't come up as easily.
I've gotten people assume, even other Latinos assume that I'm white or that I'm not Latina or Chicana. It definitely hurts, but at the same time, it's not something that I can control. I think I can do my best to project that identity.
It's hilarious when you walk into a room and they don't think you're Caucasian enough, you're not American enough, you're not Latino enough.
Being Latino isn't as accepted as it should be.
But it makes me feel pressured to fit a certain mold here in the United States. But now that I'm older, it's more like, it's what I make of it.
That doesn't stop me from being proud of who I am and where I'm from.
And then ultimately, I think what you settle on is how you view yourself.
We're kind of stripped in a lot of cases of our Spanish tongue and our Spanish heritage and told it's really important that you only speak English.
Because if you're from a Spanish-speaking country and you can't speak Spanish, it's harder for you to connect with the people there.
And not being ashamed when you do speak Spanish, but also not being ashamed if you weren't taught it.
Okay, so Spanish is not my first language because my parents were afraid of me being discriminated against because they were discriminated against. And now they're hurting me because I'm not Latino enough because Spanish is not my first language. But they don't know that I couldn't speak Spanish
because my parents were afraid of me getting hurt.
My parents have already done all the work for me, and that's why I feel like I have like a bright future ahead of me, because the work's already been done. All I have to do is like harvest what has been put on the ground.
But it's about me and other Afro-Latinos working really hard and continuing to make strides.
I feel like this country has a lot of opportunity for me.
When you have pushed another human being towards the light, towards positivity, towards a voting booth, towards using their power, you are powerful.
People are telling us as Hispanics that we don't belong here. That's kind of motivated us to join together as a Hispanic community and say, we do belong here. And despite what you're saying, I will prove to you why I do belong here.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here.
Okay. With this video, we end this first session. And any impressions about the video or what had been said for this first session?
Franklin, one question that I have, I was talking with Father Medina, and he was saying that historically that Hispanic churches, like for example, with the food distribution ministry here at that they do on our campus, that often they don't actually, it's not just about a buen pastor, but they don't always want Anglo people to show up in their experience, that Anglo show up and begin to try to be helpful in their own minds, but they start telling people how to do things better and how to operate. and so often they don't want the Anglo help because they feel like it's more controlling. And so I want St. Luke's to really have a student mind and listen and learn of how genuinely can we as a parish be meaningfully supportive of the immigrant community. And I know this is part of it, we're learning, but I guess I just ask, what are some of the best ways that we can actually learn, not assume that we know how to care for people, but learn the genuine ways that people can be loved and supported in this really scary time?
That's a good question, Greg, and thank you for that. I wanna talk about being a priest within the Episcopal Church. I am a former Catholic priest, and I'm a former Lutheran pastor, and now I am an Episcopal priest. So I've gone through everything, as Bishop Jennifer said in the service for my good speech. She said his salvation is granted. He has gone through all the denominations. So one of the things that I found out as a priest, a member of the church, is that we have this, talking personally, I have this savior, let's say that I'm a kind of savior for people, and that I know how to do things better. It puts us in a level of that we know, and sometimes other people don't know. And because we know how to do things and how to speak and how to engage with people, the best way to do things is my way or our way. And it puts right away a wall, a barrier, to be open to learn from others and to be open to welcome and embrace other visions and ways of do things. So what I can say to you is go with an open heart. I have been learning very hard sometimes, that I have to dismantle my own mind in order to welcome others, and in order to serve others, and in order to be open to new opportunities and visions in ministry. So the best way for me would be, hey, here I am. What do you want me to do? Should I put these boxes here? should I be standing here and indicating people where to go? Or what can I do to make your ministry flow in the best way? That would be my answer for that.
Thank you, Frank.
And again, talking about the last video we watched is, again, this is differentiation with the younger Latino generations in the States, is how we can embrace the new generation. It is very hard for the youngest kids, the younger generation, these grown up kids, that they don't feel that they belong or fit in any of these groups, Latinos or Americans, because they are so demanded and pressed to belong to each one that they lose their own identity instead of embrace both identities and be strong enough to be one piece in society with their Latino heritage roots, richness, but at the same time with this North American baggage that they carry. How to deal with both of them and how to make them feel that they belong. That they belong to the society, that they belong to their families, to their churches, to the places where they interact with so many different people. It is hard. There are kids that I know, kids, youngest, small kids, and they said, I don't know what to do to please my dad or my mom. I don't know what to do to please my teachers and the people that they interact with, because they don't want me to show, and I'm talking about kids in elementary school that I have been sharing in past ministries in Maryland. I don't know how to feel that I belong in my family and in my school, because they ask me at school, don't talk in Spanish. And at home, they ask me, don't talk in English. It is hard and it's not easy. But it's something that we as a church, as a body of Christ, we can embrace and help these kids that they are trying to find their place in church and society. Any other questions?
I know, please don't let me dominate, just interrupt me. But another question. So I was looking at a recent Gallup poll about people in their teens and 20s, and particularly within the white community, there's it's been a massive shift of identifying as a Christian to identifying as a nun, saying I don't have a faith tradition. And it's been an exponential growth towards nuns within the white teenagers and 20s. Do you know the statistic within the Hispanic community or Latino community? Is there still a vibrant spirituality, or is there a similar movement?
Yeah, I would say that still let's say, because religion, and we are going to see that in the next sessions, religion is so important for us. And it is just like life every day. For us, it depends on the country. For example, in my country, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing that we do, and our daughter is accustomed to that, is go to our parents' room. If they are already in the kitchen, we go and we say, could you bless me? Or bless me. That's the first thing that we do in the morning. And the last thing we do in the evenings. When we go to sleep, we say, Mom, bless me. Dad, bless me. And we go to sleep. So religion is so deep in our roots that, yes, we inherit that. But at the same time, in the States, because there is this void between English and Spanish, this generational void as well. The youngest generation, even though have all this rich religious tradition, they don't find sometimes the environment to express it, because they don't feel that Spanish is good enough to express themselves in religion. but they are not very welcome in Anglo churches because, as the kids were doing, or in society, as the kids were saying in the video, they don't fit in the American stereotypes enough to be part of, and they are in the middle. So what we can do? There is a problem to engage and to work and to pray and to grow together.
Thank you, Franklin.
You are welcome. Any other questions? Yes?
Yeah. Historically, at least, Sunday morning was always what we went to church. Now, Sunday morning is when you play soccer. Or football in your case, whatever. Do you think it's the same in the Hispanic community as it is in the white community or in the American community, that the kids are being drawn away from the church because of things like playing soccer in Sunday morning? And the stores are open. And the stores.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say yes to that, but for us, it's not because we are, let's say, talking about Latino kids or Latinos or kids that are American Latinos in the States. There is something for us that is very important. If dad and mom said we are going to Mass, we go to Mass. We go to the service. Unless my mom and my dad don't have this deep religious experience of being in church every Sunday, kids are gonna go to soccer, to other activities, and not go to church because their parents don't have these solid Christian traditions in them. But most of our Latino kids or younger people is mom and dad are going to church. All of us are going to church. There is not one left behind. It is like not present. It is like it is part of our life. And yes, we are experiencing the Latino community as well, that sometimes people don't go to church because they have been signed up for another activities. But is this where to find that we belong and that we are part of, to say that's important in our life. We need to go. We need to listen to the word. We need to partake from the table. We need to be there. It is going to be a ministry if we want in the Anglo church, in the Latino church, to promote and to have a welcome community where people feel that being at church Sundays is not something obligated, but it's something essential for our life. I think that would be the difference. Make the church something essential and not something obligated to be part of, to participate on Sundays. And that environment is created when we are open and we invite and we have ministry and we try to engage with younger generations and have let's say a creative ways to make people feel at home, to make people feel in church, and we have here a space to grow together. And yes, in the afternoon we can go and play soccer, play football, play basketball, go to the swimming pool or another places.
So kind of following up on that question, where you see me. So I know that Catholic communities often have church services at different times, Saturday evening, Sunday evening, not necessarily Sunday morning being the main thing. Is that true across worldwide Catholic communities? And how does that play into the Latino, whether they are Catholic or whether they're Episcopalian or other denominations? Do you see where I'm asking on that?
Yeah, yes. The my experience within the denomination has been that multiple services during on Sundays or even during weekdays that that people can take advantage of. I mean, within the Catholic Church, as you know, they have the mass every day. So if a family cannot go on Sunday, but they go Saturday afternoon, or they go any other week during weekdays, that's gonna be fine, and they participate in other activities. And in my Lutheran and Episcopal experience, we offer, or I offer up in Maryland and DC where I was before, different services during the Sunday. Sunday we have a service at 7 a.m. in one of the congregations, and in the afternoon was another service at 5 p.m. A community one, a Latino community one, wanted services Saturday afternoons instead of Sundays. And we did it, we made the change, and people were going to Saturday services even 7 p.m. And it was even more, let's say, full than Sunday services in Saturday evenings than Sunday services. So it depends as well in how many services we can offer to Latino communities in this case. The more, the better, let's say, somehow. Any other question?
Well, thank you so much, Franklin. And next week, I promise, we're going to have you on the big screen with a lot of volume. So thank you, everybody, for your patience.
No, thank you.
So, and also, I started recording without your permission, I apologize, partway through, so that for today, maybe we could send today's version to the people who are here so they can hear it again and see it a little bit more closely. And then, like Greg said, we'll get it bigger and better before next week.
Yeah. No, and if you have any questions that may came up from this first session, please bring it up. And we can share it together. And any question during the session, if you feel, hey, I want to ask right away because I'm going to forget, just head up or speak out, and I'm gonna stop the slides and get into the interaction and Q&A. Don't worry at all. So feel free of that.
How about the slides and the site? Be interested in looking at the data.
Are you okay to share the slides, Franklin, just so that people can look at them in more detail?
Oh yes, I can send you the link, Greg. No problem at all. That's for the diocese.
We'll put
that's for the
e-news this coming week. We'll put a link to the video and a link to the slides so that everyone can get this.
Yeah.
Maybe submit our questions writing to someplace. Make a list of questions that.
If you think of a question during the week, feel free to email me at the rector@stluke'sdurham.org, and then I can compile those, and I can even send them on to Franklin ahead of time so he can address specifically. But yeah, I will just say fully. That's awesome.
And let me tell you, you are the first congregation receiving this class, the first congregation within our diocese. I prepared this course 2 months ago, and you are the first one that has requested to do this Latino competency course.
Okay. Well, we're really grateful to you. Thank you for continuing your ministry to serve our diocese, even from Venezuela. You're a real gift to us, brother. So thank you, and we really appreciate you, and we hold you and your family in our prayers.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and a blessed week ahead.
Thank you, brother. Love you, friend.
Love you too. Take care.